What is good, y'all? It's your boy God CEO here, and welcome back to Mount Olympus Gaming. And in today's video, as you can tell in the title, this is going to be a starter guide for the newest DLC, Takeda. So, if you need to bookmark this. This is going to be a starter guide. This is going to give you a good fundamental knowledge of the character. There will be more people who will optimize it, such as with other cameos and things like that. We're going to be just sticking with base Takeda. And I'm going to be giving a recommendation for Farah, but you're going to see a little bit more of that later on in the video. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first thing we want to talk about is his normals. So let's run through those so you guys can see what he's working with. So his stand 1 is in 7 frames. It's pretty decent range. As you can see, you really have to kind of be up close. His stand 2 doesn't have that good range, so you really have to be up and close and personal to use it. His stand 3, 11 frames. Pretty good, a nice high kick, has decent range. His stand 4, pretty much a nice little kick to the gut. He goes airborne for quite a bit. Let's go over his forward 1. It's 13 frames. That's what it looks like. His forward 2 is this new scorpion spear thing. Now this has really good distance. Now the thing is, this is also extremely negative on block. -8 on block. We got his back 3, which is a low. Kind of has his baseball slide, that's for 15 frames. Then we have his forward 4. This is his overhead. It starts up in 22 frames, and it's a nice little overhead. And I want you guys to remember this overhead because I'm going to reference this again later on in the video. This normal is actually really important, and you're gonna find out a little bit later. Okay, so let's see what these normals are on block. Okay, stand 1 is +1. Stand 2 is 0, it's neutral. Stand 3 is also neutral. His stand 4 is -5. So relatively good buttons for his just regular standard normals. So his forward 1, it is -5 frames. His forward 2 is -9 frames. His back 3 is -7. His down 1 is -8. And if you hold down and forward, he has this move, which is your -17, but it has a lot of distance. And it also changes depending on where you are to the opponent, not that, where you are. And then his down 2, it is -4 frames. So pretty much he has some pretty decent normals. Really good normals, actually, if you ask me. This is going to give us a clear indicator of how to actually play Takeda. Next up, let's get into his strings and his air moves. Alright, so moving along to his strings and air moves. So these are his strings that we have here on the screen, and I'm going to show you what they look like. 1, 2, 2 plus 4. That offers a nice Reika. That's what that's called, an extra hit. We got the 1, 1, 4. Goes into a high, into a low. We have forward 1, 2, 2 plus 4 adds an extra hit. We have forward 1, 4, a nice multi-hitting move. 2, 1, 2. Then we have back 2, 1, 2 plus 4. Pretty nice distance there. Now we have the back 3, 4. And then we have his stand 4, 3. Nice double kick. And then pretty much also, if you utilize just his 1, 2, even though I tapped 2 buttons, it's a 3-button hit. Gives you plenty of time to hit confirm to see if you want to go into some of the other strings. Same thing as for his 2, 1. It's just a nice double hitting button. Now you have the Reika option on both of these if you wanted to add the extra hit to catch your opponent off guard. The same thing for the back 2. The back 2, 1. You can also just do back 2, 1, and it can special cancel into any other string. Alright, so now that we went over his strings, let's go over the strings that you should be using. I have the AI set to do his armored on reversal, so he's going to do it. And we're just going to run through all his strings, and I'm going to show you guys where the gaps are and majority of his strings, and what strings should you be using when you're trying to apply pressure. All right, so let's get right into it. All right, so that first one, 1, 2 plus 2 plus 4, that move, you only need to do the first 2 hits, 1, 2, and you have enough frames to block the reversal to hit confirm. So you should keep that in mind. His 1, 2, do not connect the third Reika unless it is hit confirmable. Other than that, you should only be doing 1, 2. All right, now let's move along to the second string. So as you can see here, it seems like this one, the forward 1, 2, 2 plus 4, it actually seems like it breaks armor. And this is actually something really good to know, because when you want to apply pressure and they think you know all your gaps, you catch them for surprise and keep going. So this is something you should definitely be utilizing this string. You don't necessarily need to worry too much, because I think it leaves you at -7 on block, so you're pretty much safe after this. Let's do the 2, 1, 2. Okay, as you can see, the 2, 1, 2, it has a gap towards the end, and if they read that, they can do that. So similar to what I said before, you only want to do 2, 1 and hit confirm off those 2 buttons. For the twin fangs, the back 2, 1, 2 plus 4, as you can see here, it has a gap. But also, here's the thing, depending on the range that you do this, you may not get hit. That's only in Homelander's case. But if you was going against someone like a Reptile, someone like a Johnny Cage, you actually will get hit. So being that this move on the second hit has the gap, you should really avoid using this string only when you catch someone with punishing in the neutral, or if they do something flat out negative, at least more than 20 frames. The next string we're going to do is this back 3, 4. So this is a true string, so he has to block this entire thing, then he can go. So that's also, keep that in mind. Not having a nice low. This low can also go in the projectile, so it's pretty good to be able to throw this out when you're trying to close the distance. And now to his stand 4, 3. Yep, you cannot use that. So let's just tack on the only strings that you should be utilizing with Takeda. Also, he has this string, before I forget, which is his stand 1, 4. Goes into the low. It also has a gap, so you really want to be careful when you're adding this into the mix as well. All right, so these are his only safe strings, meaning they have no gaps. Your opponent cannot armor through them. So you want to really be utilizing these strings when you're applying pressure, so you won't get blown up with any gaps. 1, 2. 3 hitting move, forward 1, 2, breaks the armor if they try to attempt it. Forward 1, 4, they have to, it's a true block string, they have to respect the entire thing. 2, 1, wait for the confirm, back 3, 4. So these are the strings that you want to be utilizing, and these are some of the strings that's actually going to be utilized in some of the combos in the later section of this video. So just keep these in mind, and now let's move on to his air moves. These are his air moves. He has quite a lot, and we're going to go over what they look like, and then I'm going to give my recommendation on the ones that have a pretty good scaling in combos. All right, so let's pop up the opponent. We're going to do 1, 1, 2. So it throws some shurikens that explode, a nice little keep away tool. Let's do the 1, 1, 3. So he kind of teleports and kicks them the opposite way. So if you wanted to end combos in a side switch, you can utilize this string. That way you can swap sides. Let's do his 2, 1. So this is very reminiscent to one of Sub-Zero's air strings, but it's a 2 hitting move and it kind of swipes him away. I see this move being used to extend with different cameos. One off the top of my head would be Sonya. So that would be a really good move to utilize in the air with Takeda. So the next move we're going to do is 2, 4 in the air. Nice little move that leaves you right up close. And if we finish the combo with 1 plus 3, let's see what that gives us. So this is going to be a combo ender. Anytime you see strings or air moves that end in some type of grab, they're typically good for combo enders. Yeah, so these are his air moves. So let's move right along to his special moves. So Takeda has a lot of special moves, and when you first look at this move list, it could definitely feel overwhelming. Let me show you guys what do I mean. As you can see here, he has quite a lot. Now, although it may look a bit scary, a lot of his moves are very the same. You just can utilize them in the air as well. So we're going to go over that. I just wanted to give you guys a sense of how many special moves he has. Shooting star, this is a projectile that will explode upon impact. You can control the different ranges. You can do near, you can do far, you can do really far if they're full screen. Pretty simple stuff. Now, when you exit, what you can do is it actually sets out 3 and it has an explosion. Reverse shooting stars. This is it reversed the opposite way, meaning he will pop up towards you first on your way back. So yeah, and another big thing about this is that when you EX this move, if you actually hold 1, you can actually delay the explosion. Say if you want to, I can see this for being done as setups. If you do somebody on the ground and you're just waiting for them to get up, you could definitely throw this up and apply some pressure there. All right, so now for the smart shuriken. So similar to the input, how we did the regular shooting star, the regular shuriken, which is down forward 1 that explodes upon impact, the smart shurikens are a device that you can put out and they set like a mine. You can throw multiple ones of these out, and then you can also utilize the shooting star one, down forward 1, to detonate them. So this is also really good for setups, and we're gonna get into that a little bit later, but I just want to show you that the smart shurikens is the one that do not blow up. The shooting stars are the one that actually blows up. Down forward 1 blows up, down back 1 sets up. So I want you to remember that. With both shurikens, you can also do them while in the air. You can set up the mine, you can keep setting them up, and then throw out the shooting star one. Just go right into the shooting star. You can set these up both from the air and the ground. You have a lot of mobility with these. All right, so the next special move we're gonna get into is a double spear Ryu. So this move, back forward 2, it's a pretty long range. It's a pretty long range special. Let's see the most it can go. That's pretty far. Is it full screen? It's almost full screen. So you can literally catch an opponent from way out here. And it's pretty good range, a pretty good special move. Now, you also can EX it. And when you EX this, it goes as a combo extender. So when you EX it, it jumps up. Now you can go into some type of air combos. You get the point. You can also use it to switch sides and to choose the side. Just hold forward when you do it. So it'll look like this. And now you can swap sides to continue the pressure. If you catch them with this, you can definitely swap sides. All right, so the next move we're gonna get into is the spear Ryu, but from the air. So if you're in the air, whether you're jumping forward or you're jumping back, if you do down back 2, he actually does the reverse of Scorpion Spear. Instead of he comes to you, you come to him. Pause. The EX version allows you to get a combo extension, which is also really good. So how is this can be utilized? Say if you make a read on a Sub-Zero ice ball, you could just snag him right out the sky or snag him out of the ground. So it's a really good move. Like I said, you're always able to combo with Takeda. His combo ability is just through the roof. All right, the next move we're gonna get into is Swift Stride. It looks like this. So it starts up in 30 frames and it's a mid. He goes pretty fast and yeah, it goes full screen. Now the thing about this move is that this is a really good move. Why is that? Well, when we hold down, let's do it again, we can actually cancel it. Now I wouldn't recommend doing this too much because you do have 52 frames of recovery. So even if you cancel, they can blow you up. Similar to how Smoke's Vicious Vapors are. Be careful when trying to cancel it. This is just good to where if they're expecting the hit to come, you could throw this in it to mix up their timing. Now, if you hold up or back while doing this move, now the frame data changes. It becomes faster and he actually hits him overhead. So this is good because it's also a meterless launcher. You can go into more combos. We love meterless launchers. You can also EX this. Now, it will still give you the same properties if you hold up. But if you could do it for meterless, just don't spend the meter. Just do back forward 3 and hold up or back, and you can get the meterless combo extension there. All right, so the next thing that we have is an air special. So it's called the rushing Nimbus technique. So if you do the same back forward 3, this time he can kind of Spider-Man his way towards his opponent. You could change the trajectory of this. So if I did it in the air, if I hold back, I would just swing a little bit closer. Not that. If I hold forward, you swing higher. And if I hold up, you just land right in front of them. Pretty much regular. And he also has the EX version that you can do as well, just to kind of get out of there and go into some type of combo. All right, so the next air move is the rushing Nimbus attack. So this one you have to do down back 3. And when you do down back 3, he swings and actually hits the opponent. This is really good. You catch them from any distance. Similar with the example that I gave earlier, if someone is doing a projectile and you happen to go over it, you can definitely hit them as they're recovering from their projectile. So Takeda definitely knows how to get in and punish you if he makes a read on a projectile. You can also EX it, if you want to crank up that much more damage. All right, the next special move he has is a tornado kick down back 4. So as you see, he kind of hovers for a moment and comes over with an overhead. You can also change the trajectory of this. If I hold back while doing the input, it will be much closer. If I go forward, you can go over them. Just in case if they're a bit far, you would do the move like that. Now you can also EX this. The same distances you can do the close, you can do the far, but this time when you EX it, it leads into combo extensions. And we love combo extensions, and Takeda is not short of those. And the same ordeal in the air. He can also do this move jumping forward. He could do it jumping straight up. You get the picture. The same thing applies. You can also EX it to get combos. So if you catch them, just think if they're in the air and they did a move, you say, hey, this time I want to punish them. You can just hit them with a combo extension. They can go right into it. All right, so now this is also a very new move. It's also called the Wretched Blow. So if you do this move 3 times in a row, it actually turns into a bit of a combo. It's a nice, cool looking combo, right? Now here's the thing: if you EX the last hit, it actually counts as a pop-up. So now you can have combo extensions, as you can see. And this is really, really interesting. They're definitely showing love to Takeda, being able to combo from a lot of his moves from MKX, and it's a really good move actually. So, all right, so now we're moving along to the combo section. So I'm going to put the combo on screen, but this combo is going to be a basic starter combo to use with Takeda, okay? So how we're going to do it is pretty much simple, and the reason why, you can also use this string. The first 2 hits can be interchangeably between 2-1, or you could do, if you catch them from a distance, back to 1. But the combo route is still going to be the same. It has pretty decent damage, and I'm going to show you what that looks like now. All right, and that was a nice 36%, 1 bar, and that's pretty much his starter combo. And I want you guys to remember, I am not including a cameo in this guide. Now, of course, if you add a cameo, you can figure out certain ways to add cameos and you can get more damage. I'm just showing you without a cameo, base Takeda, what he can do. And if you wanted to do the meterless version, you do the same thing, except you would not EX the back forward 2. So it will look like this. So meterless, he takes 27%, and that's not bad, right? You can optimize it in other ways, but this is also not that bad. So this is pretty much your bread and butter combo that I think anyone would be able to do. As I said, I have the combo here on screen. Feel free to pause the video and to practice this combo. So without further ado, let's move into his forward 4, his normal that I mentioned about. All right, so now we're going to talk about his forward 4, and this time I will be bringing up a cameo as well, Farah, being that she's the newest cameo, and I'm going to show you guys something about forward 4. So, as we said earlier, his forward 4 has a lot of knockdown. So I have Liu Kang here to set up to wake up and do his EX projectile, because sometimes you get into projectile wars, right? We all know they happen. So here's something I thought that was quite interesting that I wanted to show you guys, and it might be able to help you in battle. So if we do forward 4, we're going to do the smart shooting star. I'm sorry, we're going to do the shooting star far, and I want you guys to see what happens. Did you just see that? He tried to wake up utilizing the EX fireball, and he got stuffed. Now, this is really good because if you get that hard knockdown, if you do that overhead, at least you know you can always do the shooting star shuriken down forward 4. Down forward 1 up to do the far version. Now, in order to do this, I want you to pay attention to the animation of Takeda so you can have a better rhythm. So when he does this, when his shoulder tilts, shifts back into place, that's when you want to buffer your down forward 4 and then hold up. It's just more consistent. I found that to be the visual cue, and I found that to be the trick. Now, if you wanted to use Farah, which she's the newest DLC, this is actually how you can get the pain and gain setup every time. I've tried to find other ways to utilize it to see how I can do it in battle, but the only way and the safest way I found is through this way. And as you can see, when I hit him with the knockdown, he woke up and spent meter for a faster projectile. I was able to tank the hit, and now I have pain and gain. So this is something that you can do that can also help you if you're also using Farah. Now, I also want to show you guys something else about forward 4. When you do the forward 4 and you want to do the smart bomb, there are 3 people who can actually punish you from this full screen. One being Peacemaker, the second one being Johnny Cage, and the third one being Baraka. Both of their armor moves travel full screen, and they can punish you if you get the forward 4 and try to set up with the shooting star from far. But if you have Farah and you also want to do the pain and gain, you don't need to be afraid of that. Let me show you why. Because you can tank the hit. So now, for those of you who are picking Farah, if you pick Farah with Takeda, a guaranteed way to always get pain and gain will be to use forward 4 and immediately hold back R1. So you see, the reason why I'm telling you back R1, then down R1 is because she gets on faster. If you hold back R1, she begins to pull you back. But if you just tap back R1, she jumps a lot quicker, and then you can go into pain and gain. This is how you can get it every single time, and I just wanted to share this with you guys. So let's move it along to the fatal blow. All right, so now moving along to his fatal blow. And I think Takeda has one of the most interesting fatal blows. And the reason why I say that is not because he can shoot the shurikens up to 5 times before the animation start. It's because you can actually utilize his fatal blow to continue pressure. Let's talk about it. So let me show you what the fatal blow looks like, right? So we're gonna go into a regular string. Now, it doesn't matter what button you tap, it will all enter for different shuriken. But now, check this out. I'm going to have the AI set to shoot out 4 shurikens, and then he can cancel out of his fatal blow. And I'm going to try to punish him after he cancels, and I want you guys to see what I'm talking about. So I was trying. Let's do that one more time. Shoots 4. I'm stuck in recovery. I'm going to do it again. This time I'm going to turn on the frame data box so you can kind of see what specifically is going on. As you can see here, those shurikens. He literally has 10 frames of hit advantage. So what does this mean? The threat of having your fatal blow cinematic animation to stop whatever's happening, throwing the shurikens, then canceling it and going back into pressure because now you're still plus 10. This is going to be interesting because you don't necessarily need to spend it. If you wanted to get those just extra hits, you can. Or if you want to cash it out, you can also do that too. But the thing about his fatal blow is that all 5 shurikens must hit. It doesn't matter if you tap 1, 2, 3, 4, or if you tap the same button 5 times. These buttons must be tapped in order for it to go into the cinematic animation, which I think this is extremely cool for his fatal blow. But let's move it along to the final tip for Takeda. All right, so the final tip, we're going to talk about the strategy of Takeda, right? So we went over some of his normals, his strings, special moves, and I gave you guys a good, solid starter combo. But let's talk about how do we bring this together, right? What's the strategy? How should we go into battle with all of these things at our disposal? That is a great question. Let me explain. So from labbing and having time with Takeda, I've learned that he does pretty good in the mid-range, and he has a mid-range counter play style. Reason why is I say that because his back to 1, this move right here, is extremely long in the move. So he has really good movement. So I see this character being used as using your footsies to catching them with, trying to do certain normals, and even if you get in, utilizing certain normals to keep you safe. Anything like this will keep you safe to go pressure, to go into your strike throw situations. He excels more actually when it comes to the counter play. So being that he has a lot of air options, a lot of air moves, he can do a lot of things off the air. Pretty much it seems like his strategy would be to sit in this range to see what you're gonna do, just sort of harass you, you know, just harass you with some sweeps, harass you with his long range normals to chip you out, just to kind of see what you're doing. And then you go in for the kill. You see an opportunity, you can go in, and then you can start your combos. That's how I see Takeda being played. Now, of course, depending on the cameo you pick, obviously his playstyle can change. But going off of the tool sets that he has, his tool sets tell me he is a mid-range counter playstyle type of character. So a lot of characters, they won't be able to get away with a lot of the shenanigans against him because he has really good counterplay, especially in the air. He can do quite a few things in the air, which is gonna keep you on your toes. So that would be all for the video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful, please drop a like, drop a sub, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.